Good morning, YouTube. Time is now 8:27 a.m. on Saturday, 7th of June. This is probably the longest I've had a lie in well, as long as I can remember, really. This is a long line for me. I was out late last night. I went to go see one of my buddies, Jamie, who I met in my gap year playing football. Discovered we had a mutual interest in playing guitar. We literally used to come back to my parents' house and just like literally play guitar for just hours and hours and hours, like most days. He pursued music like as a actual thing, like so he's doing really well. He had his first sold out headline show in Liverpool last night and he absolutely smashed it. Just made up. It's just so like proper makes me proud, like, you know, seeing someone who's close to me just like, you know, going after what they want and just like pursuing it and actually making a success of it. So I was out last night, didn't get back till probably about midnight. It wasn't too late. You can probably hear my voice is just gone from all the yelling and just like singing along. But great times were had. Guys, we've only got like 2 more episodes of the series, you know. I was just looking at through my YouTube studio then, and I'm kind of thinking, when's the last episode going to be? Because basically when I go to Budapest, that's a Saturday when I would normally film. Maybe the last episode will be the day, I don't know, I'm going to figure it out. But either way, we only got like 2 or 3 episodes left of this series, so we got to make them extra good. So in today's video, I do have something really cool planned. So you know the way in a couple of videos like previously, I've spoken about the importance of you know, making sure that you find that balance between your calories, so you can make sure that you're like losing fat without losing muscle. Well, today I want to talk about a new tactic, and you also know, because you all watch all of my YouTube videos, that I've been in this competition called Summer 7 at my gym, which has been a 7-week competition essentially to just like get the best recomposition in that time, and we're tracking our results using the in-body scanner just to, you know, obviously monitor that. And as of yesterday I submitted my final results, and kind of today I kind of wanted to talk about those results and how I've achieved them, because over the course of the 7 weeks, I've actually made some very significant improvements. Whether it will be enough to win the competition is another question, but to be honest, as I've said previously in another video, like, I don't really care about the prizes. I just care about being competitive, giving 100% and do my best to win. But before any of that, I've got to wake up and then I've got to go do the food shop, because I don't like doing the food shop when the shops are too busy. I just literally cannot think of anything worse. But I also don't like doing the food shops too late during the day, because I feel like there's just nothing left on the shelves. It's 8:32 now, so I'm just going to drag my ass out of bed and then get myself sorted and head over to Aldi. Alright, it's been a little while since I spoke through what a typical grocery haul kind of looks like for me. So I figured I'd just do that really quickly, but I'm just about to finish off my first bottle of this Small Bit Touch of Fruit cherry flavour, which, if you haven't tried before, tastes bloody fantastic. I love the strawberry and the watermelon flavours, but this, I just realised my face is a bit of a frame, but this stuff tastes phenomenal. Give it a try if you can find it. Anyway, quick rundown of the proteins. Kilo of fresh chicken breast from the butcher. Chicken sausages, these are a staple, 2 of these in every single breakfast wrap each morning. I don't know if you shop at Aldi, try and find these hake mornay's, because they taste phenomenal. Ignore the fact that they say they serve 2. I eat this to myself, it's completely fine. But the macros on this thing, a hake mornay, so there's 424 calories, 56 protein, 18 fat and 8 carbs, and like this thing is just like, it tastes phenomenal. Make sure like you just air fry for 20 minutes, it's done. Like, just if you can find these whole favourite, get them in. I've been slacking at an oily fish recently, so we're gonna fix that as of today. Smoked mackerel fillets, I'm gonna have 100 grams of these for today's breakfast, 100 grams for tomorrow's breakfast. Normally just eat frozen veg, but every now and then I get something fresh. I chose this today. It's like a ready-made like steam kind of like packet of mixed greens basically. Again, tastes great, this stuff. I'm probably going to have it with one of the hake mornay's a bit later. Protein yogurt pouches, standard, have one of these every day. Cheese slices, standard for the breakfast wrap. Wraps, would you believe it, also standard for the breakfast wrap. This is probably the best sugar-free squash I've had. It's Aldi's own strawberry watermelon flavour. This stuff tastes way better than any other sugar-free squash I've had. Had to run the farm foods over the road to get Branston beans, because these are the superior baked bean, and if anyone disagrees, you're wrong. Baby potatoes, tend to just air fry these and keep them for dinner portions. If you've been seeing my Instagram stories, you'll see that I've been having pretty much the same lunch every single day. The chicken stir fry. So we've got fresh noodles, 2 bags of stir fry veg, extra bean sprouts because I love them and they're reduced price. Aldi's own sweet chili stir fry sauce, because it's actually quite low calorie. Eggs, you know the drill, pretty much the king of all protein. And then you all know I'm a massive fruit guy, so big bunch of bananas, packet of flat peaches, packet of conference pears, 400 grams of blueberries. And Aldi have finally got the king cherries in stock, especially selected ones, and these work out pretty much the same price as the cheaper ones when you go by 100 gram. I picked up both just for comparison really. And that's it guys, the Aldi shop cost me about like 45 quid. Chicken's £8 a kilo from the butcher. This will be sorted for a good few days. Now let's cook some breakfast, because all this talk of food has got me pretty gosh darn hungry. Well, it's safe to say I'm very glad that I got the food shop done early, because The heavens have opened. It's pretty grim out there. Guys, I've really been struggling to sleep this week, which is very uncharacteristic for me. I normally sleep like an absolute baby, but for whatever reason, I've been struggling. So, you know, I got 8 hours last night, and I feel like I could easily have done longer. And I was tempted to get a Starbucks this morning, you know, for a bit of caffeine, but I'm also trying to stop spending money because I think looking at my statements and stuff, I've just been spending far too much money, far too nonchalantly recently. And I definitely need to just, like, you know, rein it in just a little bit. I'm not like going overboard. I'm very much in control of my finances, but like I just know that I could definitely tighten things up. So did the sensible thing, came home, made a coffee with an espresso machine. This is a one of the pistachio vanilla virtual pods over ice. Put a couple of sweeteners in there, dash of oat milk, and it is pretty flipping fantastic, can't lie. Finally mustered up the energy to make some breakfast, so I've got 100 grams of smoked mackerel fillet on a tortilla wrap because I can't really be bothered making anything else, and 100 grams of the cheaper Aldi cherries. I'm probably gonna have 100 grams of the king cherries later, just to compare them, see if they are actually that much better. But either way, I'm starving, so I'm going to crush this, and I'll catch us probably at the whiteboard after this. Alright, so I decided to not be lazy. I've just knocked out a lot of food prep, spent about an hour and a half in the kitchen, so let me show you what I've done. I've got my, if you see my Instagram stories, you've been seeing I'm having the same chicken stir fry for lunch basically every single day. Another 5 portions there, just for the week ahead. I've done a kilo of potatoes, which I've just roasted with salt and pepper. This is a full kilo, so 5 portions, each portion being 200 grams of raw uncooked potato. So I've got 3 portions in here, 2 portions in there. I'll probably freeze these 2 portions, keep these 3 fresh because I'm going to use these for dinner for the next few days. And then chicken sausage, which I always air fry a whole packet before the week begins, because I'll just have 2 every single morning with the breakfast wrap. And obviously because I've had oily fish today, I won't be having 2 today, so I'll kind of go mackerel today, breakfast wrap tomorrow, mackerel the day after, and then back to the normal breakfast wraps daily after that. Way better use of time than just lazing around, so I just figured I'd just get that done. It's now 1 o'clock. I am actually going to chill for a little bit now because I am done in. Got some stuff to do with the laptop as well, and then we'll hit the whiteboard after that. Okay folks, so another week, another row of data. So this is my final entry to my gym's Summer 7 competition. This is week 7 of that competition, week 14 of my overall cut. But the data, so I got a little bit experimental here, and I took a risk. I tried something, and it's actually paid off really well. And I'm really excited to talk about this because this is something that, you know, I've thought about for a long time. I've never put it into practice with myself or any of my clients, but I thought I'd test it on myself this time, and it's worked very well. So let's talk about what happened. So over the past week, remember this is 1 week since my last scan, not 2 weeks, I am up 0.4 kilos overall body weight. I am up 1.6 kilos of muscle mass, and I'm down 2.1 kilos of body fat. Now, I think it goes without saying that these are some pretty crazy results, and they can only happen under certain circumstances. So let me explain to you how I did this, because there was method behind it. The first thing I will say is that it does require a base level of understanding of how the in-body scanner works, because the way they're judging the Summer 7 participants, the way they're judging this competition is who can increase their overall in-body score from week 1 of the competition, which is week 7 of my overall cut, to the final week and the final reading of the competition. So who can improve their in-body score the best? And the in-body score is kind of taken relatively, it's like your score, you know, taking into account your muscle, fat, etc., etc. It's like an overall composition score. So my in-body score started, I didn't put that on the whiteboard because I didn't really think it's relevant. I don't really care about the in-body score. The only reason I'm talking about it now is because it's relevant to this competition that I'm doing. So I started at 84, and over the course of the first, 6 weeks of the competition, I only improved by 1. So I improved with an in-body score from 84 to 85, and that was over 5 weeks. And I think a large part of that was down to the fact that I did lose muscle in the first couple of weeks. Fat mass has gone down like very consistently. I'm really happy with that. But ultimately, because I wasn't, because I lost muscle, and as a net up until last week, I had still, was losing muscle. I think that just didn't really work in my favor very much. So it was no real surprise to me that my in-body score didn't improve. Well, it improved, but barely, Since last week, my in-body score has gone up from 85 to 90. With these last results, I've had a whopping late surge, from 85 to 90 is pretty crazy. I think that's
Probably goes without saying. Again, I don't want you to take in body score to heart. I certainly don't, and I don't recommend that you do either. It's just a number that kind of like, a machine kind of tells you based on what it thinks your composition is, etc., etc. And yes, of course, there's going to be accuracies. It's a very good way of monitoring progress, but don't let that define you, kind of thing. It's almost the same thing as the scale. Just don't let that define you. Just like use it as a tool, use it as a monitoring tool, and use it to gather data, and use that data to drive your progress and everything, and use that data to make sure like everything is moving in the right direction, because that's what symbolizes progress. So back to how we did this. So when you're in a calorie deficit, your muscles will store less glycogen because you're probably intaking less calories, and less calories, you're probably by default eating just a few less carbs. So, glycogen is something that, is stored in the muscle cells, so like it draws water into the muscle. And if the less of it, that means that by default, let's just say, for example, a muscle stays the same size. On a cut, you're likely to see the muscle mass, which is, the muscle mass, the weight of the muscle on your frame, go down because there's less water in it. If you don't take creatine, you'll probably see this as well. There's less water in your muscles when you don't take creatine. So yeah, it makes sense that muscle, even if it stays the same size, it might actually weigh a bit less. The muscle mass might be a bit less. Hopefully that makes sense. And obviously, because I've been in a cut now, I've been in a calorie deficit for this long, 14 weeks. And that means that I've been eating less carbs than I normally would. And that shows, especially recently, that's been showing in a few ways to me. Like, my body's been giving me signs. It's taken me a lot longer to recover from my weight training sessions. I'm sleeping quite rough, to be honest with you. I haven't had a great, I've been sleeping well this week at all, if I'm honest with you. To summarize what I'm trying to tell you is that, when you're on a cut, generally there'll be less water within your muscles, therefore the muscle will weigh less. And I think that's probably a large part of the reason why I had such a drop, especially, and why I've struggled to, get it back up, because I just haven't been having the right amount of calories, especially from carbs, in my system. So what I did this past week was I actually upped my calories again from 2,500 to an average of around 2,800. Most of that increase was from carbs. And what has happened as a result of that, well, what I think has happened, and I think these numbers kind of support my theory behind this, is that way more glycogen has flooded to my muscles. And glycogen draws water in. Glycogen can, I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head. I think 1 gram of glycogen can draw in 3 to 4 grams of water. So by default, that means that if there's more glycogen in my muscles because I've eaten more carbs, that glycogen is drawing in more water. Therefore, the weight of the muscle mass has gone up. And I think that is a big part of the reason why I've seen an increase of 1.6 kilos of muscle in the past week. That's not going to be new lean tissue. That is tissue that's almost been dormant, for want of a better term. I don't really know how to describe it I don't really know how to describe it, to be honest with you. The muscle's there, but it hasn't had much weight to it because there hasn't been enough glycogen in there, if that makes sense. So it's just kind of been there, but like not as full as it could be, not as voluminous as it could be, because there's not been enough water in it. Does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. And then because InBody uses something, it's almost sends electrical signals through your body, and it judges what tissue is based on how easily or difficult it is for the signals to flow through your body. It's called bioelectrical impedance, because that bioelectrical impedance will be different based on if it's trying to go through muscle or fat, and that's how it kind of gauges what tissue is and how much it weighs. And because it's gauged that, muscle mass has gone up quite significantly, that means that by default, in relation to my overall weight, it has to come away from somewhere, if that makes sense, and it comes away from fat mass, which was why I believe that I've seen a reduction of supposedly 2.1 kilos of fat mass in a week, which, let's be honest, not all of that is going to be pure fat mass loss. Yeah, a significant portion of it might be. It might have been around, maybe 0.2 to 0.3 kilos, but certainly nowhere near 2.1 kilos. I think that's more like a relative kind of result based on the fact that, it's gauged muscle tissue has increased. This was very much an experiment. I didn't know if it was going to work, and I certainly did not expect it to have this much of an impact. But now that I've done it, I'm really happy that I've done it, because it is something I've been thinking about, and I would have loved to have tried it. And this competition kind of gave me the platform to try it, and the kind of like motivation and drive to do so. I probably wouldn't have done it otherwise. Whether my results are going to be enough to win the competition, we'll find out, I believe, next Saturday. So stay tuned and we'll see if it was enough to win. But regardless of the result, as I say, I'm not really that bothered about the prizes. I just care about being competitive and wanting to win. The results though do make me very happy. I'm really proud of what I've done over the past 14 weeks. And even though the competition's ended, I am still cutting for another couple of weeks before I go to Budapest. So we'll see what we can do in that time frame. As always, if anyone has any questions about this or about fat loss in general, please leave them in the comments below and I will make sure that I address them for you. Now it's time to chill for a bit and then we'll get ready for paddle. I mean, let's be real here. Did you really think I was gonna go a full weekend without playing paddle? I am so hooked on this sport. It's so much fun. Tonight's game was great. It was a lot more competitive than I thought it was going to be. We won the 2 sets that we played, therefore we won the game. But I think it was definitely my partner who did most of the work tonight. Like, we were playing 2 lads who were really good, but thankfully my partner tonight was also really fucking good. So it all worked out. I'm still happy with how I played. I mean, still too many errors and everything, but I'm still very much beginner. Still very much trying to learn and get better. Just can't believe I just need to find a coach. I'm still looking to find a coach. So if anyone knows a paddle coach, hit me up. But anyways, now that we're back, I'm absolutely starving. So I'm gonna have my hake and veg and some potatoes. And also, I was supposed to film this in like a separate clip, but I'll just show you now because I want to kind of wrap up the video soon. I don't want it to get too long. I was going to do a taste review, but I don't want the video to be too long, so I'll probably stick that at the start of next week's video because look what arrived. It is the Perform Whey Dubai chocolate flavour. I picked this up on the TikTok shop from a company called Wolf Supplements, and I mean, they actually hooked me up. They sent me like, let me show you this. I mean, look at this. I got a free Wolf Sups car air freshener. I got a nice personalised note from Tom. Shout out to Tom if you're watching this. The likelihood is basically 0.001%, but thank you anyway. And they sent me, look at this, a sample of the Perform Pre, and this has 8 servings in it. Like, you know, that's so sound. Like, just sent me it for free, like with my protein. I also picked up this from a separate seller, but I got this Perform Hydrate in sour gummy worm flavour. Is it sour gummy worm? Gummy worms flavour. I'm hoping it's sour. Yeah, I'm getting more into like hydration and stuff, like, and just like looking after my body in different ways. Like, you know, I'm trying to be more on top of like oily fish and hydration and that kind of thing. I also want to kind of like I've been off all supplements now for probably 6 months, and I think it's about time I dip my toes into like looking into them. I will say that like I haven't experienced any adverse side effects of not being on supplements. I just want it to be a bit more intentional rather than just buying things because I think I need them kind of thing. You know what I think it is? I think like since I stopped all supplements and everything, and like in the new year, I started really thinking about my health and where I was, and I just wasn't really, I mean, I was in shape and everything, but no, I know I could do better. I just know my standard could have been better, so I'm focusing a lot more on that thing, on those kind of things, like hydration. I want to be more intentional with supplements, and I just want to be healthy, and I want to be in a shape that I'm proud of. Because right now, yeah, I'm happy with my shape, but like it's not something I'm really, really proud of. You know who I'm taking a lot of inspiration from at the moment? Christian Guzman. I feel like the OG CG is back. I mean, look at the shape that the guy's in. Look at the rate he's putting out stuff, and like, he's just properly on it at the moment. It's so inspiring because every time I watch his videos, every time I see him, listen to him on the podcast, you know, like don't be sour. He's talking about how he's just like in the zone right now, and it just gets me so fired up because like look at the shape he's in for starters. He looks incredible, and he's really on top of his nutrition. He's eating whole foods. He's just running like a well-oiled machine, and you know, it just shows inside and out. And I'm taking a lot of inspiration from that in a minute. So yeah, 2025 is definitely kind of like a year where I've been thinking a lot more about that stuff. So once the summer shred is over, maybe we'll do another series. I already do have one in mind, but I'm gonna wait to tell you what that is. But as for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video. So I'd like to thank you so much for tuning in. Episode 15 is in the books. I think we've got 2 to 3 more episodes of this series, and then the summer shred is officially done. And I just want to say, if this is the first episode you've watched, or you've seen every single one of them, or anything in between, I appreciate you so much. This series has definitely like grown my YouTube channel a lot more than I thought it would. It's been a series I've really enjoyed filming, and hopefully that you've enjoyed watching as well. So stay tuned for the final episodes. Remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with the last episodes of the series, and I'll be seeing you next weekend. Peace.